Good evening, everyone. Tonight I want to talk to you about just frames, which can be really tricky to pull off in this game. Not for me. I'm the frame whisperer. I was born with the mutant power to speak to frames, so it's kind of my thing. But for humans, it can be really difficult, so I thought I'd explain it a little bit tonight. One day I will tell you the story about when I got rejected by the X-Men, by the way. It was basically bullshit. Xavier was like, we have too many white dudes on the team already. We don't want people on Twitter saying that the team feels whitewashed. My point was basically get rid of Hank, right? Because he's white and he doesn't do anything. But they were like, no, Hank's technically blue, so it doesn't count. And he's the only one who knows how to fix the airplane, so you're out. And that was it. But I'm not bitter. I have a YouTube channel now and a full head of hair. Charles. So yeah, it's all good. Anyway, let's talk about just frames. So the first thing I think you should do when you're trying to learn a just frame in this game is go to your move list and find out whether you're looking at an actual just frame or a fast frame. There are two different versions in this game. They're kind of the same, difference being that a fast frame, which is what I'm going to use for the example today, we're going to use Sungmina's down forward or 3 BK, which looks like that. I taught myself how to do this consistently yesterday, so we're going to find out tonight if it actually stuck in my muscle memory the way I wanted it to. But the difference between a just and a fast frame is that you need to do them both with very specific timing. Only with a fast frame, the last button you press needs to be pressed very, very quickly after the button preceding it, whereas with a just frame, it is at some other point during the animation with specific timing. When it comes to the fast just frames like this move that we're talking about today, I've basically found out that there's no way you can do this too fast unless you're actually pressing the buttons at the same time, so you get a simultaneous move like this or like this downward version. Then you're pressing them too fast, but as long as you're not pressing them at the same time, just do it as fast as possible and you're gonna get it. It's a little bit more tricky with the actual just frames because you need to find the perfect spot during the animation, but you're going to practice them in the exact same way. So let's first of all see if I have been able to learn this consistently. I've said before, it's the fact that you need to do this just frame is the only thing I don't like about Sungmina. But I like everything else and I want to main her, so I had to teach myself how to do it, right? And so it's for these combos, so let's do that one. Okay, that works. Do it again. Still works. Third time. Okay, it looks good from while standing. All right, nice. So it seems I've been able to teach myself how to do this consistently. And I should tell you that yesterday, before I started practicing, I found this just frame pretty awkward. So it's sort of proof that even if you do feel something is awkward and difficult to do, you can go from that point to learning how to do it really consistently quite quickly, as long as you're willing to go into practice mode and put in some time, which I recommend you do, because just frames in this game seem to be required for a lot of characters to get your best damage in combos. I mean, we're standing across from Cervantes here, who I picked because he's cool to look at, unlike the X-Men, and he has to do it too with his quarter circle back B. Sazel Amel has it as well. Taki has a just frame for her combos and so on. So it's something that I recommend you practice with your favorite character. And so it's basically brute forcing it, but what I recommend you do is go to a stage with without ring outs. Definitely turn on in-game sound. If you want to listen to your own music separate, that's cool, but really have in-game sound on, because you need to look for audio cues as well as visual cues in the animations and in the sound to find the right rhythm and the right melody. So to learn this move, which I taught myself yesterday, first of all, I try to find the point at which Sungmina's animation resets so that I can do another one when I want to chain them together. And for her, it's her front leg. When that foot is back to its default position in front of her, then the animation of the previous move is over and you can do the next one. And so I found that, and then I started trying to chain them together. So I reset the positioning to be like this, standing across from the opponent, and I just decided that I'm not going to put down the controller or do anything else until I'm able to perfectly do this 10 times in a row. And I started practicing, and I did 1, 2, 3, and then I'd mess it up somewhere along the way, and as soon as I did, back to reset, back to 0, and then I started over, and I tried to shoot for 10. First I dropped it quite a lot early, then I got 8 or 9 a couple of times, but then eventually I broke 10 and it felt really good. But then I sort of felt like I wanted to keep on going because I really wanted to hammer it home. And I think I did this for maybe 30 to 40 minutes, so it's quite a while. But after that, I mean, I think my longest chain was 36 just frames in a row, and I'd basically gone almost a lap around the entire stage at that point. So with just a little bit of time and practice, this is something anybody can do. And I'm not known for like having really supreme execution skills or reaction speed. I tend to spend a lot of time in practice mode because I need to work a lot more of my inputs to get them really, you know, into muscle memory. So this is something that I'm sure that anybody can do. The difference between the just and the quick version of these moves is that you're going to have to look for the key point in the animation where you want to press the just frame, and then when you start repeating that, if you get it 2 times in a row, then that's going to create a rhythm and a melody, and you're trying to repeat that pattern and melody 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you can sit down and do that for a really long time, then eventually when you stop, the combo that you were trying to do previously that felt awkward is just going to feel really natural, because your brain eventually gives up and goes, okay, this feels very mundane, but we're doing this so long that we need to let this guy learn how to do this so we can move on with our lives, kind of thing. And it gets committed to muscle memory and sort of stays in your fingers a little bit more. So like I said, it's not an exotic technique, it's kind of like brute forcing it, but I really do recommend that you spend time in practice mode, because this is something that seems to be important in this game, and really finding the melody is important. So have in-game sound on. Definitely go to a stage without ring outs, because when you ring the opponent out, you can't immediately reset the positioning like this, which means it's going to take a little bit longer to practice when you reset, because you're going to have to reset many times in the beginning. But if you just keep on doing this over and over and over, then eventually it's going to be in there, and it's going to stay in there to where you can do your combos consistently every time. Those are just some quick tips on how to pick up just frames. I know it's simple, but there really is no magical way to do this. It's just about spending the time in practice mode and really brute forcing it, I think. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you're enjoying Soul Calibur. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye bye for now.